From Inner Space to the Big Easy to Suspect, Dennis Quaid is one of the busiest actors around, and on the whole, are you glad about it, or do you need some time off?
Oh, well, it's great to have these kind of problems, and I'm enjoying myself. I really and truly am. I'm getting to play a lot of different types of roles and with some really good people.
This is unfair to ask of you, I guess, but I'm such a fan of that accent in Big Easy. Is it easy to put that accent into conversation, or do you have to learn lines with it? I'd love to hear some of it.
No, well, you're not going to get it. You have to go to the films for that, but it became like second nature after a while. In fact, I had it off the set as well as on the set when we were down in New Orleans, and they kind of a Cajun New Orleans Yat accent, and in fact, it was hard to get rid of when we finished, because it was a lot of fun to do.
It's like a guest that came for dinner and then you couldn't get rid of him, huh?
Yeah, well, it was a good guest, though.
Many times in talking with actors, we don't talk about the vocal cords, the voices that you have to employ. And I'm wondering if on stage or in the movies, if you've ever had a problem with hoarseness. Sometimes I can hear it a little bit in your voice.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
a little
you never
bit.
know what that's about now, do you?
Have to nurture it sometimes a little bit?
On stage, it can get blown out. I remember in True West, when we did True West, which is a lot of screaming. I mean, really? About two brothers about killed each other. And the second night we were on, I had been on stage in 8 years. The second night we were on, man, it was like this. It was gone. And it was a frightening feeling.
What does an actor do?
You just go on. I mean, what are you going to do? I'm sorry, folks. My voice went out.
Do you have to go the next day with a sign around your neck, don't talk to me?
Yeah, you just don't talk for a while. And it went on for a whole week until I had a day off and I had really a chance to rest it. And you have to be careful. You have to really warm it up. And
now, by contrast to all of that, Suspect is a movie of silences, I think. There's a lot of glances exchanged between you and various people, especially Cher. Is it harder to do a film where you're not talking so much, but where you're having to give meaningful looks?
No, not with somebody like Peter Yates, because Peter never really knows how to construct a story and how to tell a story with pictures, with moving pictures. And in
fact, let's clarify, you've worked with him before.
Yeah, I'm Breaking Away, and hopefully again anytime. And it's if you're working with somebody like that, it's easy, because he knows in his head exactly how he wants to construct a story.
I hope I'm not betraying a confidence when I share with you something he told me earlier, that he thought you were a little bit slower in developing, but because of that, you have come along more promisingly than anybody else in Breaking Away. In other words, you've been a bit of a late bloomer, but it's been worth the wait.
Well, I've played supporting roles for a long time. I think it's good to do that. You know, you can take a lot of chances and play a lot of different types of characters and not have the weight of a whole film on your shoulders to carry it. Plus, also, I think actors, when they're young, if you get a lot of success early, you don't really have a chance to really get good. They sort of nail you down, and you don't have really a chance to develop it. You don't have a chance to fail.
Interesting. You know? Well, Whoopi Goldberg said that about not getting an Oscar. She was glad about not getting a nomination or an Oscar because it gives her more of a chance to make mistakes. Interesting philosophy.
Well, that's the only way you can really learn anything, is by falling flat on your face a couple of times.
Who is the person in your life, if there is one, who's your monitor, your guide, your severest critic, the voice that you listen to the most carefully regarding your own work?
Oh, so I probably have a couple of my brother, for one, and I still listen to my acting teacher from college, Cecil Pickett, down in Houston, and.
So for acting coaches out there watching, they are remembered by their students.
Oh, definitely. I mean, they really do a lot. He certainly did a lot for my life.
Let's switch gears here a little bit into the movie itself. You play a lobbyist. Tell us what you have learned in your own research and your own sense of how important lobbyists are in Washington.
Our government couldn't run without lobbyists. They represent certain groups who want to be represented in Congress, get their point. You know, farmers, anybody can be represented in Congress, and 1,000 pieces of legislation come before Congress every year. And if you as a senator or whatever, you can't be knowledgeable about everything. So you rely on specialists, and those specialists are lobbyists.
And have we had an image in the movies thus far of a lobbyist that's quite like yours?
Well, I don't think you've really had a real in-depth view of a lobbyist ever in a film. And usually fat cats, they got a cigar in the hand, drink in this hand, and a contract here. And
Seems to me to be a successful lobbyist, maybe a person should not be quite like that, huh?
well, you have those too, but it's really that's really the cliche of things, you know. And it was a chance really to do something that I've never seen in film before, portray something I've never seen.
I especially like the scene that you have with the Congresswoman. I guess we can go ahead and reveal a little bit of it. It's a momentary encounter that reaps benefits for both of you. Beautifully underplayed. Is a scene like that something where the two of you are just isolated on a set? I'm thinking about the stairway, for example.
Oh, the stairway scene?
You get away from everyone, together. Just the two of you, and Yates is there, and what's he telling you? And take us through that.
Actually, we had this scene. She's a congresswoman, and I'm a younger lobbyist, and we had to do this kiss scene on the stairway, you know, and we just cracked up. Actually, it was all we could do to crack up because both of us were blushing, and you know, it's an embarrassing thing. You know, you walk in and your first scene with somebody, you gotta like lay one on their lips, you know, swap spit right then and there. And
well, it's only one of several offbeat scenes. I mean, your first embrace.
She was really funny to work with, Catherine Kerr, and a wonderful actress.
Your first embrace with Cher is likewise odd. She's doing things to your chest. Remember, you've had your wound?
Oh, yeah, when I get slashed with a knife.
Unlikely encounter.
Well, it's an odd world, isn't it, though?
Do you kind of like a film that maybe brings up the offbeat like that? And certainly
sure.
Big Easy was like that, too.
Oh, yeah.
Since you make choices, are you prepared to kind of go for that kind of oddball look at the world?
Oh, yeah, why not?
You want to do that?
It's more fun.
Yeah. If you would, without revealing exact locations.
I think everybody else is oddball. That's me.
There it is. I knew you'd do it. When you go on that well-deserved vacation, can you take us along with you in your knapsack? Where are you going to go, just generally? What are you going to do?
I usually find an island paradise. I love island paradises.
Montana?
Well, I go there for like months. That's not vacation. I live there. But I go to an island paradise, you know, where all you have to say is pina colada, please, and stuff like that. It's wonderful.
And he'll probably say it with a New Orleans accent, which really does boggle the imagination. I'm John Tibbetts for KCTV5 with Dennis Quaid in Los Angeles.
Thank you, John.